Hi, I'm JP Lam, and in today's episode of Naruhodo, we're going to learn about a traditional Japanese social finance system called Tanomoshi. Now, many of us may not be familiar with Tanomoshi, but it played a large role in Japanese society, from personal savings to investments to insurance and even assistance of poor people. So today, I've come here to the University of Hawaii to meet with an ethnic studies professor who teaches on the topic of Tanomoshi. Let's take a look. Well, Dr. Okamura, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
So for those of us who might not be familiar, what exactly is Tanomoshi?
Well, the technical term used by academics is rotating credit association. And they're found not just among Japanese. Koreans had a version called Ki, and also Filipinos and Chinese and other people throughout the world. So it's quite a common phenomenon.
And what are the mechanics of the Tanomoshi system? How did it work?
Well, among Japanese, what it involved was a person who needed a sum of money would gather, let's use 10 people together, including himself, and they would each contribute a prescribed amount, let's say $10 a month. And then the person who'd organized it would get that full $100 first, and then each month they would get together and take turns receiving the amount, and then this would continue until all of the participants had received the amount.
And what was the purpose for Tanomoshi?
Well, if we think back historically, when Japanese are plantation workers or farmers, they really did not have much income. So it was a way to accumulate a sum of money in a quick period of time, as opposed to trying to save that significant amount of money over a long period of time. But if you needed that money immediately, then a Tanomoshi provided access to that sum.
What role, if any, did Tanomoshi play here in Hawaii for Japanese immigrants?
Well, another purpose also was to send for a picture bride, which involved the transportation expenses to bring a wife here. So that was another very significant consequence, because it brought lots of women here and led to the growth of the Japanese community. Others could involve things like starting a business. And then there were other minor kinds of less expensive goods that could be purchased, like a stove, a watch, clothing, etc. But it was a way to have access to money during a period when Japanese workers did not have very high wages, and perhaps banks weren't willing to lend them money. There were Japanese banks before the war, but perhaps they were less willing to loan considerable amounts of money to lowly paid Japanese workers or farmers.
Well, Dr. Okamura, thank you so much for your time today and teaching us about Tanomoshi. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you very much, too.
Well, thanks so much for watching this episode of Naruhodo. I hope you learned something new about Tanomoshi. Until next time, I'm JP Lam.